Welcome all to the second lecture of C programming lecture series. Basically, in this lecture, we will be discussing about basic programming fundamentals. So basically, this lecture will cover all the topics. This is the outline of today's lecture, that is structure of C programming language, how we write C programming language, that is a simple example of C programming language, what are the phases of execution of a programming language, then the character sets we are using in C programming language, then C tokens consisting of constants, identifier, keywords, variables, operators and string. So we'll discuss all of them one by one. So let us come to the first topic, that is structure of C programming language. So this is your structure of C programming language. Basically we are using for doing the programming, we use IDE, that is integrated development environment. That means it integrates entire thing into one place, that is it will provide you editor, it will provide you options for compilation, execution, and so in seeing the result in the output screen, or you can say console, everything is put into one place, that is called as IDE. So for C programming language, there are several IDEs. For example, you can use Turbo C++, or Turbo C++. That is, this is the IDE used for both C and C++. You can go for Dev C++. You can go for code blocks. Basically, I am using this Turbo and Dev. So let us first discuss what is the structure, then I will show you how to write a program, or how the structure look like in your IDE. So first we'll go for documentation section. Basically this section says, this gives the information about the author, date of the program creation, and the information about the program, like what this program is all about. You can say title of the program. Every information about this particular program is included in the documentation section. Then comes your link section. In case of a link section, it basically consists of all the library functions, or you can say header files, so which is used for linking. Don't get panic about the word linking. We'll discuss this term linking, loading after some time or later on. Then we have definition section. In this definition section, basically we are writing the function. You can say it can be function definition, it can be your variable, that everything you can define a variable, you can define a function, everything in this definition section. Then global declaration section. Global declaration section means your function can be global, your variable can be global. So for declaring everything that is global, that is the scope is throughout the program, we are using this global declaration section. Basically every function execution starts from main. As we discussed in the first lecture of this lecture series, this is a procedural oriented programming language, or you can say structural programming language. So everything is defined. You can see here every section is defined. You cannot alter the section. So the program execution starts from main function, as this is a procedural oriented programming language. So the first procedure, or you can say function used in this C program is your main. So main is a function. This is a user defined function, but the word main is predefined. The term predefined means the meaning of main is known to the compiler. The meaning of the word main is known to compiler. So your every program execution starts from main. So as it is a function, it has some return type which is not mentioned here. That means you can write void, you can write integer. So return type. So this return type we'll discuss later when we'll go for data type. Then we'll discuss at that point. Just currently focus on this structure. This is the main function. This is the name of the function followed by braces, or you can say this is also called as parenthesis in your C. Then curly braces, that means this is the start of the function, main function block. So this is your starting braces, this is your closing braces. Within this main starting and closing braces, you have declaration part, you have executable part. In this declaration part, so after this first curly braces, you have the declaration part. So in this declaration section, you can declare a function, you can declare a variable which is local to this main function. Then after declaring the variable and function, because every variable or function you are going to, function means user defined function, that you are going to use inside the main function must be declared first. Then after declaration you have executable part, that means whatever task you want to perform, be it arithmetic, be it logical, be it any sort of calculation function, so that execution part is being placed here after the declaration section. Then this is your closing brace, it means this says that this is the end of this main block. Then after main block, so you have subprogram section, that means if in this declaration section you have declared a function, and that function definition is outside the main closing brace. So this is the subprogram section which says that this is the user defined function which is declared in the declaration section will be defined over here. So let us take an example let us take a simple example of C program which will describe all the sections that we discussed now. So I am going to use Dev C++ IDE. So let us have a glance through this IDE. So this is my Dev C++ IDE. So basically all these IDEs we are using for C and C++, they are common. So if you want to create a program, if you don't have any program or you have written or executed any program prior to that, so you should go for you can see different tabs over here, that is file, edit, then search, view, project, execute, tools, style, Windows help. To create a new source program, you have to go for this file option, then new, then you can see for source file, for creating a file you can go for this option or else you can use the shortcut key. Similarly, you can either create a source file or you can create a project. Okay, so project means project will consist of several files, and they are linked to they are put into a project. Currently we are not focusing into the project, just I am talking about source file. So that means a simple program. So for creating a source file, you have to go for this option, like I have clicked. So this is a source file which I haven't written anything into that. So this is untitled, that means there is no name. You have to write down the code over here, then you have to save it and execute it. Let us say first write down. So as we discussed, the first section was your documentation section. So documentation section should be written into the comment line. So comment line, for comment line we have two sections for two types of comment line. You can see that this is documentation section. This documentation section is written in as a comment line. So for comment line, for single comment line, we are using double slash. So this double slash is this single slash is forward slash. Backward slash is like this. This is your backward slash. So if we are putting two forward slash in consecutive fashion, then this is used for single line comment. Basically, this single line comment will not be executed while program execution, or it will not be compiled. Okay, then go to editor. So this documentation section basically consists of your author information. Let us say I am writing the author, that means who is writing the program or who is creating the code. Suppose I am writing my name over here, then I am writing date of creation. Let the date be any date 20/05/2021. You can say the content, that means the title of the program, like write a C program to print hello world. Basically, this hello world is the first program that you will find out in every programming language. So write a C program to print hello world. Now you can see, for writing three different lines, we are using three single line comments. You can use multiple line comments. So for writing multiple line comments, the symbol used is again forward slash followed by slash. Then you will write multiple line comments over here, then slash, then followed by forward slash. This is slash star. You will write multiple comments over here, then star followed by slash. You need to remember two slashes. You should not be confused, because forward slash is, that means whenever you will stand straight, if we forward or bend to the front, so this will look like this. If we bend towards back, then this will look like this. So you need to remember, for using comment line, we are using forward slash, be it single line comment or multiple line comment. So this includes your documentation section. So then comes your link section. In link section, here we are using the header files, or you can say library. So this library includes all the predefined functions that we are going to use in our program. There are several predefined functions that is included under the library. For example, we are using standard input output function. That means for input function, we need to take the input. For displaying something, we have to use the output function. So in that case, already predefined library is there, that is stdio.h, which consists of several input output function. If we want to use the input output function, we need to only include that library in our program, like has include stdio.h. This is written like this, sorry, typo mistake. Has include stdio.h. This has is a preprocessor. So this symbol says this is preprocessor. That means this is pre-processing. Before processing done, it expands the user-defined function into the program, that it includes the function which we are going to use in the program, that is in stdio.h. So this is basically a pre-processing task. Before your execution starts, before compilation starts, it includes your the function or predefined function which is present inside this library. So this is your link section, because it links the predefined function which we are using in our program to the library or to the header file. So here, this is the angle bracket you should use for writing this header file. STD stands for standard I stands for input, O stands for output, and as this is a header file or library, so .h symbol is used for writing any header file. Similarly, other than stdio.h, we have several other header files, that is conion.h, file.h, then math.h. Several header files are there, so we'll explore everything in details later on. Currently we are focusing on stdio.h. Next, after your linking section, then we have another section, that is definition section. As definition section means, if you are defining anything that is whether it is function or something else or variable, then you need to use this definition section. Currently I am not, this is a simple C program I am giving the example, so I am not using this definition section, neither I am using a global declaration section. I am after the linking section, I am directly starting the main. If you want to use, then you can use. Okay, so like if you want, you can also define any constants by using this hash define. Let it be pi 3.141. So this is also a preprocessor. Whenever you will find out the symbol hash, that means this is a preprocessor directive. So you can define any constant like this. Then if you want to write any global variable, then you can also write like this, integer s. But currently I am not using this global declaration section. I am writing directly main function. I can write void main. This is my main function. Then followed by curly braces, so that this block has been created. So within the main function you have declaration section. So this is the declaration section of your local variables. That means I can declare a variable integer a, I can declare a function like this, integer add, like this. So you can declare a variable as well as function, but I don't need, for writing hello world program, I don't need any kind of variable, so I am just leaving that section. Then followed by execution section. In execution section, you need to write some sentence for calculation, or else you can use printf or scanf or any other predefined function. So for I want to see this, the message that is hello world onto my console screen or output screen, so I need to use a printf statement over here. This is an output function, printf, printf. So C is a case sensitive one, so case sensitive program. So the function name which is already defined in this header file, you have to follow the same syntax, you cannot alter that. So the syntax of your printf function is basically I am writing over here printf function. The syntax of printf function is integer, this is a return type, followed by function name printf, followed by arguments. Every function has return type. As you saw, for main function also I have written the return type void. Integer printf followed by a keyword, that is const, that is constant, followed by character star format. So this is your syntax of your printf function. So printf is an output function. That means whatever message or the value of variable we want to see in your output screen, or console, we need to write down or we need to use a printf function. So this you can see this is the return type of your printf function, and it takes the argument that is character start format. That means it takes the argument as a string the sequence of characters, and you can see this is character star, which is a pointer. That means as we want to display hello world, this is a string, so it returns a pointer of that string. Okay, then this integer return type is integer. That means it returns the number of characters we have in the number of characters, that is if the printf function is successful, then it returns the number of character that is shown in the output screen. If the printf function is unsuccessful due to some error or something else, then it will give you or it will return negative value. For unsuccessful execution, it returns number of characters that is displayed on the output screen. But you won't be able to see how many characters it has printed. So this is your internal task. You need to understand that. You are not going to see the number of characters onto your output screen. So let us come to the editor first. So I want to display, I want to see hello world onto my output screen. Hello world. So I am using the first word, that is hello world. So I don't need to see how many characters that is written onto the output screen. So I am not using return type. You can, this is optional part, return type. You may use it or you may leave it. So this is my program. This is a simple C program. I need to save the C program. This is the icon for C program, and I am using I have created a folder in my D drive. So this is the path in D drive. I have created a lab content. Here I am saving the program. For writing every C program, we need to mention the compiler that this is a C program. So you have to give the extension as, because this editor is used for both C and C++, you need to inform the compiler that this is a C program, so you have to use the extension C. So from the drop down menu, here you can see the option like C source file, so you have to use this C source file. Then you need to write the name. So my program is hello world, so I am choosing file name as hello. You can choose as per your choice. So this is hello. I have saved the program. Now you can see the program name hello C is appeared over here. Now my program execution is over. I need to compile this program. Through compilation, I will check the syntactical error, and through compilation, this program is converted into object code from. This is my source code. Whatever I am writing, this is my editor. Whatever I am writing, this code, the entire thing is my source code. For compilation, you can see this icon, that is tab, or you can see this execute tab. Here you will click. For compilation, you are seeing this option compile, or else you can directly use F9 as the shortcut key. So I am using this compile. Then after compilation, you can see this screen. Here you are getting error as 0, warning as 0. That means the compilation task is successful. Then I need to execute this program to see whether this is giving me desired result or not. Then execute. Again I am choosing this tab. Here you have an option that is run. In run, I can select this, or else you can use a shortcut key, that is F10, that is in the keyboard. So run. Here you can see this is showing the message hello world. So this is my desired output. So this is just a simple program which is giving me the output. So similarly, you can use a scanf function, you can use multiple lines. Like if I want to say hello world, hope everything is fine. That means you can write multiple statements in a single printf by giving some space. So what I have modified the code, I need to save it again. Then I am compiling to check is there any error in writing this. No, this is error free, error 0, warning 0. Then I need to run this program. This is giving me hello world, hope everything is fine. So this is just a simple program. This is the structure of simple program. This is my documentation section. These two lines are link section. I am not using any definition section and global declaration section. Directly jumping onto the main function, and inside the main function again I am not using any variable, user defined variable nor function. So simply I am writing a printf statement to print just hello world and hope everything is fine. Next jump to, this is a simple program hello world, the output is hello world. See, you can see here I am using return type as integer in this example. So if it is an integer, it must return some value to the function. So whenever you are using data type integer, you need to write down the return statement. If you are not writing return statement, then it will give you error, that is syntactical error. So this is a return statement. Return 0 means this is the successful execution. On successful execution of main function, this gives the return 0. Otherwise it returns -1. If the execution of main function is a failure, then it returns -1. Then coming to the next topic, program execution phases. That means we are not able to, being an end user, being a programmer, we could not able to see what are the things that is going on the background. So we need to discuss that first. First of all, you need to open the editor. In the editor, you will be writing source code as we did it before some time. Then after you are writing the code in the editor, then it does the pre-processing steps. Pre-processing means we have used the header file stdio.h in our program, because I am using printf function, that is an output function which is in a stdio.h header file. So pre-processing, the term is pre-processing, that means before the processing of starts, because the processing starts, or you can say execution starts from main. So this pre-processor is written prior to main. So this pre-processing, what it does, it includes files and replaced symbols. Files means, include file means what is the function predefined function I am using, that is included in our program. Okay. Next, after pre-processing step, then we are using compilation. In compilation step, what it does, the source code is converted into object code. Along with that, it performs syntactical error checking, syntax error checking. That means whatever we are writing, whether that is syntactically correct or not. Like inside the main function, we are having declaration section where we are declaring a variable. Then we have execution section where I am writing printf function. So everything that I am writing inside the program, whether it is grammatically or syntactically correct or not, that will be done by that task is being monitored by compiler. So you saw in my first program, that is hello world program, if everything is okay, after compilation it is showing error 0, error 0 and something else. That means if errors are 0, so the compilation task is successful. Then another step is called as linking. So when the object code is created, so the code for printf function is there in the object code. So that printf function must be linked to the respective header file. Suppose I am using printf function which belongs to input out standard input output dot s. Suppose I am using another function, that is square root function, that is in your math.h header file. So every object file that belongs to different header files must be included in one place through this linking. So this linking, what it does, it brings all the, or it links all the functions, predefined function we are using in our program to the respective header files. Then after linking, your .exe file is created. We discussed about the .exe file in our first lecture. Then when .exe file is created, your program will be portable in nature. That means you can take the entire code and can run on another machine. That is the advantages of your C programming language. Then after linking, we are doing the next step is your loading. Loading means the program after the executable file is being created, it is loaded into the main memory. So this step is your loading. Then after loading, then it is provided to the CPU for taking the input. That means after loading step is being done, it proceeds to execution. That means whenever we are running the program, it is doing the execution, it is taking the input, that is the execution part is being conducted by CPU, that is central processing unit. It takes the desired input and gives the output. In our Hello World program, only we are seeing the output message, that is hello world, that is on the console or output screen. We are not taking any input. So if you are declaring any variable or performing some calculation steps, then in that case we need to take input. So this is how the program execution steps, these are the phases of your program execution which is working behind which we cannot see them. So as it is a programming language, just like any other language, we first learn alphabets, then we learn words, then we frame sentences. After learning sentences, we go to paragraph. So these are your steps of learning of any language. So C is a programming language. So for learning C programming language, we will proceed in a similar fashion. That is, first we learn alphabets, then we learn digits, then we learn what are the special symbols we are going to use in our program. Then after learning all these things, we will proceed into constants, variables, keywords. Then we will learn how to write an instruction, followed by how to write a program. So these are your steps of learning C programming language. We will discuss everything one by one. These are your character sets that is used by your C programming language. So in C, we are using lowercase alphabets or lowercase letter, that is small a to small z, all 26 your small case letter, or you can say lowercase letter. Then in uppercase, we are also using capital A to capital Z. These all are your characters. Then digits. Digits, that is 0 to 9. 10 digits we are using. That is, these are the things we are using in our C programming language. Other than these three categories of characters, we have some other characters also, that is plus, minus, multiplication, this is braces, this is AND operator, this is modulus operator, this is the dollar sign, this is hash. While writing preprocessor we are using this hash. Then after main or after starting of every block you will find out this curly braces. Also you can use this angle bracket. This is single quotation, this is double quotation, this is called as colon, semicolon. Several other symbols, other characters are also there. That means you can say whatever symbols you will find out in your keyboard, these all are your characters. Other than these types of character, we are coming across or we are using another thing, that is white space characters. White space characters are basically used for formatting the output. That means blank space. Blank space is used just like in our program. I have written two statements, that is hello world, then hope everything is fine, something like that. So for distinguish between two different sentences, I used blank space. The new line character is used to come to the new line. So new line character is represented by /n. So this is your forward slash. So let us take an example. That means if I want to see the two different sentences in my output, one line followed by another line. So I have modified the code over here. I need to save this, then I need to execute this. Directly you can compile and run in a single shortcut key, that is F11, or you can use the single option compile and run, or you can compile first, run then. So I am compiling and running it. Okay, hello world /n. No, it is not. Okay, so it is not working in the middle. Like if I want to write this code, control X, printf, control V, that means if I write like this, every statement should end with a semicolon within the main function. Now I am saving this code and executing it. You can see this will appear in a single line. Hello world, hope everything is fine. Even though I have written the code in two different printf statements, but it will appear in a single line. If I want the first line should be hello world and second line should be hope everything fine, I need to use /n. This is your backward /n. For comment line we were using forward /n. This is backward /n. So execute, compile and run. Now you can see hello world is in first line and hope everything fine is in second line. So this is for formatting the output screen. We are using this white space characters. Sorry, this is not forward /n. This is backward /n. Then carriage return, then tab space. These are the white space characters we are using in our program. Next topic is your tokens in C. So C tokens are the basic building blocks in C language. There are 6 types of tokens we are using in our C program: identifier, keywords, operators, constant, special characters and string. We'll discuss each of them one by one. First is your identifier. identifier, from the name itself you can see it identifies. So identifies means to whom it will identify? It will identify a variable or it will identify a function. So whenever we are mentioning the identifier in our program, it says that it informs to the compiler that this is something which I am going to use in the program. So it identifies that. It identifies the symbols or it informs the compiler that these are things we are going to use, or it may be labels in our program. So these identifiers are the names you supply for the variables or the functions. This is variable type, and or the labels in your program. Whatever variables we are going to use in our program, what are the functions we are going to use in our program, what are the labels we are going to use in our program. So these are these label names, variable names, function names are provided by the user itself. So which identifies each of them and tells the compiler that this is my identifier. Then second is a keyword. Keyword are the reserved words. Keywords are the reserved words. Reserved words as because this meaning of these words are already known to the compiler. Whenever I am using keywords, whatever already created by your C programming developer, C program developer, I am just going to use that. I cannot alter anything. Even I cannot alter a single alphabet because the compiler will not identify that, because compiler knows that this is my word, this is the meaning of this word, and this is the number of characters in these words. There are 32 keywords in your C programming language. So these are the list of 32 keywords, that is auto, double, integer, structure, break, else, long, switch case, enum, register, type def, character, extend, return, union. These are the collections of these 32 keywords. You will gradually learn in details about these. So while using these keywords in our program, I will discuss them in details. Just know that keywords are reserved words and there are 32 keywords in your C programming language, and these are the list of keywords. Then operator. For operation we are using operator. Operator is a symbol that tells the compiler to perform specific mathematical or logical function. That means this is, you can say, this is an instruction to the CPU that you need to perform certain operation. We'll discuss number of operations, types of operation in details later on in different lectures. So first, currently you focus onto this operator. Operator is a symbol which tells the compiler or instruct the compiler to perform certain tasks. If it is an arithmetic operation, you have plus, minus, multiplication. This is division. Division gives your percent. This is modulus. Modulus gives you remainder. Okay. Next. What is constant? So from the term itself, constant, this is not changeable. Just like the the universal constant or mathematical constant or physics. In physics, we use certain type of constant, that is the speed of light c is 3.8 into something 10 to the power minus 8 meter per second. The constant pi is written like pi, or else you can go for pi. This is the symbol 3.141 in floating point, or you can say in rational number you write 22 divided by 7. So the value of this c, speed of light, or else you can say pi, this is a constant, you cannot change that. So constant means it is a value that cannot be altered by the program during normal execution. If you are defining a constant inside the program, then that cannot be altered. The value cannot be altered during the program execution, normal program execution. So this is an example of your integer constant. In integer constant, here this is the variable and this is the variable, and I am assigning value, an integer value to this variable. So the integer constant is 10. If I say floating point constant, this can be 10.5 the value. This is the way of writing the floating point number. Okay, this is the whole number part, this is the fractional part. So this is floating point constant. Just like here, this is 2.35. If I say character constant, the character constant in your C programming language is mentioned within a single quote. In single quote, whatever symbol I will write, that becomes a constant. A single character I am going to write that, because this is a character, it will hold only one character, be it small letter, or if I am writing capital letter, or you can write any special symbol, or you can write this symbol within single quote, or you can write a digit, this is also a character. You can write anything, you can write this bracket, single bracket, this is also a character. So you can write curly braces within double quotes. So these are all examples of your character constant. This is your floating point constant, this is your integer constant. So the value of this constant during normal program execution remains the same. That's why the term is constant. There are two ways of defining constant: using constant keyword, that means if I declare a constant, that means this is giving some constant value to the variable. Suppose I am writing integer x equal to 10. So how to know that this is a constant? Okay, so for creating a constant, I need to use a keyword, that is const. As we discussed just before some 10 to 20 seconds, we have 32 keywords. So out of this, const is one of the keyword. This keyword is used to create a constant. So whenever I am mentioning this keyword before this line, this 10 value that is assigned to x will become a constant. Then another way of creating a constant, this is the first way of creating constant. Another way of creating constant by using preprocessor has defined. Like I want to use the constant, that is pi, in our program. Suppose I want to find out the area of a circle or something like that. So I need to use this pi. So area of circle is pi r square. So I need to use this constant. So pi is a you can say symbol. So I can write like this: pi followed by 3 point space, define hash define followed by pi, which is the symbol I am going to use in my program, followed by 3.141. So as this is a preprocessor directive, before the program execution start, it will first check for the word pi in the program. It will replace the value 3.141 in every occurrence of this word pi. Let us take, I am writing area equals to, example, in my main function, within main function, let us say area equals to pi into r into r. Pi r square is written like this. Then this is area 1, let it be. Area 2 equals to pi into r. This is r1, r1, r2, r2. So these are the two different circles area calculation. Let it be r2. Sorry. So wherever it has two occurrence of pi, wherever it will find out the word pi, before execution start, before compilation start, it will replace this pi by 3.141. It will replace this pi by 3.141. So that's why the term is called as pre-processing. Got it? Next topic is types of C constant. We discussed about constant. These are the ways of creating constant or defining constant. Then types of C constant. So this is primary constant and secondary constants. So C constant has been classified into two types, primary and secondary. Under primary constants, you have integer constant, you have real constant. Real means we discussed floating point, that comes under real. Integer constant, real constant, character constant. Double also comes under this. Okay. Next, secondary constant. Under secondary constant, we have array, we have pointer, structure, enum, etc. So these are one topic in your C programming language. So I am not going in details into this. Later on we will discuss about that. Then rules for creating integer constant. For constructing integer constant, the first point is it must have at least one digit, because this is an integer, you know. Without digit, how can you say that this is a constant? So it must have at least one digit. It must not have decimal point, because if you are giving in a decimal point, this will not be integer constant, this will be converted into real constant, floating point constant. So it must not have any decimal point. It can be either positive or negative. Just like in C, we are using natural number set. Like in natural number, you can go up to in negative direction, you can go also in positive direction. Just like +5, -5, +3, -3, +7, -7, like this. So, but in natural number, you can go infinite. But in case of your integer constant, it is not infinite. It has certain limitation. The number of constant you can assign to a variable, so that depends upon the size of integer. So size of integer is a data type. That size we will discuss later on. It can be either positive or negative. If no sign precedes, by default it is positive. Just like we write a natural number, if I am writing 5, so this is automatically presumed as +5. No commas or blanks are allowed within an integer constant. You cannot write (5) or 5 blank space then 6. You cannot write like this. You will have to write 56. There is no symbols allowed, that is in your constant. No commas or blanks are allowed. The allowable range for integer constant is this much. So this is not basically the range is not fixed. It varies from your machine to machine. So this is just don't focus into this. Sometimes the integer is range is -32768 to +32768. In some other compiler you will find out some different range. So this is not constant, but there is some range for this integer constant. Okay. Next, special characters. Special characters are the characters other than the characters we discussed. There are some special characters which we are going to use in our programming language, like comma, period, that means dot, semicolon. Like every statement should end with semicolon in our program, followed by colon. This is apostrophes, that is single quote. This is underscore. This is vertical bar. This is slash, forward slash. This is backward slash, ampersand. This is your caret, this is your star, asterisk, this is minus, question mark. These are the special symbol that is provided in your table that we are going to use at some point of time in our program. Then variable, rules for creating variables. This topic we'll discuss later on. Thank you all for patience hearing.